So coming up, we will have Chris Bennet, publisher and editor of the Seattle Media Newspaper Group in Seattle, Washington. And it's such an honor, Chris. You had me on your show earlier today, and so now we're changing tables, and I'm so glad to have you with us.
Yeah, we're reversing roles right now, but Denise, it's I'm very honored to be on this program with you today. I'm always honored to be able to let people know that Denise Rolark Barnes is a friend of mine, and the Rolark uh, family is a friend of the Bennett family, which goes back 2 generations. We're both second generation publishers, and that's important in today's world. But more importantly, before I even get started with that, I want to congratulate you guys on your 56th anniversary. These are some trying times in a very tough industry. I don't know if the general public understands how tough and competitive the media space is right now, but it's highly competitive, and this is some tough times. And the people of Washington, D.C. area are fortunate to have a publication like yours that continues to serve your people by telling our stories the way that nobody else can. Nobody's going to save us but us. Nobody's going to tell the stories but us. And we can't rely on other people to tell our stories and our narratives, because we know that they will be missing facts and will get distorted. But the Washington Informer tells the story to people in the Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia area each and every week. And it certainly has an impact across this country as you guys influence the policymakers there in D.C.
Thank you so much, Chris. And I want people to know, I mean, we've got the newspaper. We're utilizing, Facebook or YouTube to bring this show, which we did as a result of the COVID-19 virus. This is how this program launched. But the Seattle Medium Newspaper Group, I'm just amazed. You all are what 4, 5 newspapers, 3 radio stations. Tell our viewers what you all are doing out there on the West Coast.
Yeah, we have 4 newspapers and 3 radio stations serving the Seattle, Tacoma, and Portland, Oregon markets. And my father founded the organization in 1970, so we're in our 50th year of operation, which, a lot of people, especially in DC, they might look and say, wait, they had a black newspaper out there in Seattle 50 years ago. But the other thing is that, no matter where you are across this country, there are issues. There are racial issues. The issues are the same, whether it talks about education and the academic achievement or lack of academic achievement of our kids, the resources that are applied to education. When we talk about police reform, economic empowerment, healthcare disparities, voter suppression. Voter suppression doesn't just take place in the Deep South back in the Jim Crow era. Voter suppression happens all across this country every day up until now. And, one of the other things that, people might find enlightening is that the city of Seattle has the oldest NAACP chapter west of the Mississippi, which tells you that we've been dealing with racism for a long time.
It's amazing. And I want our viewers to know that if they want to know what's going on in Seattle, and they're getting a bit frustrated with the CNNs and the MSNBCs and all that, they can come directly to you. Share your website with us again.
Yeah. Denise, we're at our website address is seattlemedium.com. That's medium like in small, medium, large. So it's seattlemedium.com. And while I'm on that point, Denise, I want to encourage people in the DC area and across this country to make sure that they subscribe to the Washington Informer or the Black Press affiliate in their area. But more importantly, the Washington Informer needs your support. The Seattle Medium newspaper needs your support. I can go down to a whole list of papers that need your support, but you can support them by subscribing to their publication, picking up their publication on a weekly basis, telling other people about their publication, and referring to stories that you read in the Washington Informer, and telling people, oh, I saw this in the Washington Informer. Did you know X, Y, and Z? Those things help us in ways that you can't even imagine. So it's the little things that make a difference, but it's more about a community effort. So I just wanted to make that plug. Subscribe to the Washington Informer newspaper, pick it up on a weekly basis, and share it with others.
I love this, from Washington to Washington. It's fantastic. And so, I mean, this it's amazing. COVID-19, we've been working together somewhat over the years, because we're all members of the National Newspaper Publishers Association, the oldest trade association of Black-owned newspapers in the country. But now a group of us have come together and with a new collaborative called Word in Black. And I'm excited about this collaboration, but tell our viewers what it means to you.
I am very excited about Word in Black. This is a collaborative of 10 leading Black newspaper publishers across the country that are, we've looked at the issues are the same, as I mentioned, all across the country. The geographic location is different. Some of the players are a little different. And we've come together to have a collective voice as we address issues like education, police reform, voter suppression. We're all addressing these same issues locally, but it's important for us to collectively shine a national spotlight on these issues so they can be the topic of serious discussion in DC, in Los Angeles, in Chicago, in New York. But more importantly, these discussions take place around the workplace, dinner tables, churches, social events all across the country, because once people talk about the issues and can understand the issues, they will ultimately take progressive action. And that's why we've come together in order to properly frame the narrative from our perspective of African Americans in our community across this country that foster solutions to the racial inequities that exist in America and have existed for far too long.
I love it. I love it. And so we're here today because we want to share an event that we're co-hosting on Tuesday night, which is our Word in Black event on voter suppression. And I know that we have a great lineup for that event. And we will be sort of in the background enjoying the conversation and being motivated, inspired by it. But again, could you share that with us?
Right. Yeah, we've got our first live virtual event as a collective. I don't even, and it's a national virtual event as well. It's called Voting with a Purpose. It's put together by Word in Black, the 10 Black newspapers. The Black press was founded on the principles of wishing to plead our own cause, meaning that we want to tell our own story and secure our own plight. And certainly in this case, we are encouraging people to engage in one of the pillars of our democracy that's been denied to us for way too long, and that is the right to vote. And that's why we're having this event. It's right in front of a very important election. We have a panelist of 7 esteemed Black leaders for even a conversation of voting with a purpose, because definitely it's not enough to just get out there and say, let's just go vote and encourage people to vote. There's far too many people out there who are in the position right now, Denise, who are trying to make a decision about whether or not they are going to vote. They're not making a decision about who they're voting for. They're trying to make a decision on whether or not they're going to vote. And for too many people, they're given reasons why they should not vote or why they can't vote, and spreading that to others. Much like COVID-19 is spreading across the country, they're spreading the same virus in our community, encouraging other people not to engage in voting, which is the last thing we should be doing. But certainly when you talk about this panel of experts, I'm certainly excited. This is going to be held next Tuesday, October 20th at 6 p.m. Eastern time, 3 p.m. Pacific time. We're going to have on the panel Bakari Sellers, who's an attorney and CNN political commentator, Susan Smith Richards, CEO of the Center for Public Integrity, Dr. Ben Chavis, President and CEO of the National Newspaper Publishers Association, Kristen Clark, President and Executive Director of the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights Under Law, Wes Moore, the CEO of the Robin Hood Foundation, Lee Chapman, Director of the Voting Rights Program, and Nolan Williams, a composer, producer, music director, and innovator. And he's got a video. If you haven't seen that inspiring video, you need to check it out, because he's a very dynamic person in this presentation and talking about voting. Denise, as you can tell, I'm very excited. I'm a person who votes regularly. It's ever since I turned 18, and I have never been so inspired by a group of panelists to talk about voter suppression, voting with a purpose, because certainly we need to vote with purpose and intent. The purpose is to help elect people who are going to improve the quality of life for African Americans all across this country. And the intent is to send a message that we as African Americans are still a pillar in American politics, that we matter, that we're important, and that our voting block is the largest voting block that people should be concerned about, regardless of what other voting block they want to pander to.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
You've got to come through the African American community if you want to get elected from a local perspective, where it's on the city council or an alderman, or if you want to become president or vice president of the United States. And we need to send that statement strong and loud that you need to come to the African American community and if you want to be elected. And that we'll see the narrative change as it relates to the issue of racial issues and racial unrest that's being injected into politics today.
Chris, thank you so much. I mean, you put it all out there. You did a great job, and hopefully, your folks were as inspired as I think our people are on this end by encouraging them to watch on Tuesday, and also to subscribe to our respective publications and to keep the Black press alive. I just want to say quickly, one of our viewers, Terry Schlickenmeyer, you know Terry that does the book reviews for
Yes.
Intimate. She's online and
Hey,
sent a
Terry.
comment. She wanted to tell you hi and give you a shout out. So I wanted to acknowledge her as well.
All right.
So have a great day. Have a great weekend. I'll probably be on a call with you later on
Yeah.
today. And
D-
thank you. Thank you. Thank you
Denise,
so much for being
Denise,
with us.
Denise, one last thing.
Sure.
People talk about Black Lives Matter. I want to take it a little step further and say Black matters. Black lives matter. Black publishers matter. Black newspapers matter. The Black community matters, especially when it comes to the Black vote, and the Black vote matters. Goodbye.
All
Thank
right. See you later. Thanks so much.